Hi students, this is Bhagwan Reddy, Faculty of Chemistry, Trinity College. So today we are going to discuss about solutions. In the last class we discussed about mole fraction, molality, normality, like that. Concentration methods we discussed na? Next, in today's class I would like to discuss one more problem based on that concentration method, that is the commercial concentrated nitric acid solution is 68% by mass 68% by mass of HNO3. The commercial concentrated HNO3 solution is 68% by mass of HNO3. Then the volume of this solution containing 21 grams of HNO3 is dash. So this is the question. So in objective point of view, such kind of questions will be given. The commercial concentrated HNO3 solution is 68% by mass of HNO3. Then find the volume of this solution containing 21 grams of HNO3 in it. 21 grams of HNO3 in it is. So how much that is? What is the volume? Means here in bracket write down, that is here what is given means density of solution is, density of HNO3 solution is given as 1.5 gram per cc. 1.5 gram per cc. This is the question given. So density is given, weight percentage is given. What you are asked to find? Volume of solution containing 21 grams of HNO3. Means first you find the molarity of the solution. So if you go for molarity of the solution, molarity equals to weight percentage into density into 10 by gram molecular weight of solute. Clear? So this is equals to molarity. Molarity equals to what, sir? Weight percentage is given how much, sir? 68 into density is 1.5 into 10 by what is the molecular weight of HNO3? Molecular weight of HNO3 is 15 plus 48, 63. What, sir? 63. So by simplifying this one, you'll get it as this is 68 into 15 by 63. 68 into 15 by 63. So by simplifying this one, you'll get it as this is the molarity. You can keep like this only, no problem. Next, what you are asked to find? Volume of solution containing 21 grams of HNO3. Is it clear? So next, here molarity equals to what we can say? Gram weight of solute by gram molecular weight of solute into 1000 by V in ml. Volume of solution in milliliters. Now we got the molarity. What is the molarity? 68 into 15 by 63. This is the molarity we got from here, equals to gram weight of solute. How much amount of solute is to be present? 21 grams by here gram molecular weight of solute. What is the molecular weight of solute? 63. Solute is HNO3 into 1000 by volume in milliliters. Volume only you are asked to find. Clear? Now 63 can be cancelled. Now volume in milliliters equals to, that is 21 into 1000 by 68 into 15. Clear? This will give volume of the solution. Now this is equals to what we can say, sir? By simplifying this one here, 5 3s are 5 200s are 3 ones are 3 sevens are 1400 by 68. 1400 by 68. By simplifying that one, you'll get the volume. So volume equals to 1400 by 68 milliliters. You simplify this one, you'll get the answer. Is it clear? So by using mass percentage density, find the molarity first. By using molarity and weight of solute, you can find volume of solution. Is it clear? So this is the one of the model problem. And next question is one of the simplest question. Let us see how many of you can answer for this one. That is, which of the following is more concentrated solution? Which of the following is more concentrated solution, or which of the following solution has highest concentration? So the first one is one capital M aqueous H2SO4 solution. One capital M aqueous H2SO4 solution. Second one is one small m aqueous H2SO4 solution. Third one is 1n aqueous H2SO4 solution. Fourth one is all are equal. All are equally concentrated solutions. So now which one is right answer, Nana? So which is a more concentrated solution among these? Is it clear? So now what we can say means here from this, first you take 1n and you have to convert all these concentrations into one concentration term. So I am converting this into molarity. So this is 1 capital M, molarity only, 1 capital M. If you take one small m is less than 1 capital M, so that we can say less than 1 capital M this is. And normality is given. We know that normality equals to molarity into valency. Then molarity equals to normality by valency. Normality 1, valency 2, that is 0.5. So what is the molarity here? 0.5 m. So first one is having 1 capital M. Second one is having less than 1 capital M. Third one is 0.5 m. 0.5 capital M. So now which has highest concentration among these three? The first one. So this will be the right answer. Is it clear? So like this we can choose the answer. This is about concentration methods. Try to solve remaining problems given in your material. Okay. So then next. So next concentration term is formality. But sir, formality, concentration method. This is also another concentration method. Generally it is used to express the concentration of ionic compounds. Concentration of ionic compounds in water. So solution containing ionic compounds in water. So what is formality means? Formality is nothing but the number of gram formula masses of solute present in 1 liter of solution. So number of gram formula masses of solute present in what sir? 1 liter of solution. So number of gram formula masses of solute by volume of solution in liters. So like this we can say number of gram formula masses of solute present in 1 liter of solution is called as formality. So here formality is nothing but number of gram formula masses of solute. Gram formula mass of solute is given by gram formula masses of solute equals to, that is gram weight of solute by formula weight of solute. What is formula weight of solute? Formula weight generally for ionic compounds do not contain discrete molecules. So in such cases, instead of using molecular weight, we use formula weight. So formula weight is nothing but sum of the atomic weights of all the atoms present in one formula of the ionic substance. So like that, here gram weight of solute by formula weight of solute will give gram formula masses of solute. So gram formula masses of solute by volume of solution in liters give formality. So that formality equals to what we can say, therefore formality is nothing but gram weight of solute by formula weight of solute into 1 by volume of solution in liters. Like this, just instead of molecular weight we are taking here formula weight. This is for ionic substances, for the solutions of ionic substances in water. For suppose if we take example, formula weight of NaCl equals to what, sir? Formula weight of NaCl equals to 58.5. Formula weight of MgCl2 if we take, formula weight of MgCl2 if we take, that is magnesium 24 plus 2 chlorine 71, so that is equals to 95. Like this we can say. So this is about formality. So formality is similar to molarity, but it is used to express for the concentration of, to express the concentration of solutions containing ionic compounds. Ions. If solute is ionic compound, instead of molarity we will call that as formality. Clear? So this is about formality, and next we are going to discuss about, that is solubility, another important topic. Solubility denoted by S. So what is solubility? What is meant by solubility? Solubility is expressed for solute, right or not? So we will say generally this is more soluble, that is less soluble in water, or solubility of this compound in water is more. Sir, what is meant by solubility? Means the tendency to dissolve in a given solvent. So it is expressed in terms of what, sir? That is, solubility can be defined as the maximum amount of solute, the maximum amount of solute or the maximum gram weight of solute that can be dissolved in 100 grams of solvent to form its saturated solution. To form its saturated solution is called as what, sir? That is solubility. So the gram weight of solute or the maximum amount of solute, the maximum amount of solute that can be dissolved in, 100 grams of solvent, 100 grams of solvent to form its saturated solution is called as what, sir? Its saturated solution is called as solubility of that solute at that temperature. So this is about what, sir? That is solubility. So the maximum amount of solute that can be dissolved in, the maximum amount of solute that can be dissolved in 100 grams of solvent to form its saturated solution is called as solubility of that solute in that solvent at that temperature. Okay, na? So this is regarding solubility. So solubility is nothing but here solubility can be expressed in grams per 100 grams of solvent. So grams of solute for 100 grams of solvent. Solubility can be also expressed in moles per liter sometimes. Solubility can be also expressed in what, sir? Moles per liter or grams per liter. Means what, sir? That is number of moles of solute dissolved in 1 liter of solvent, or gram weight of solute dissolved in 1 liter of solvent. Like that also we can express the solubility. Clear? Solubility is constant for a solute. For a substance, solubility is constant at a given temperature in a given solvent. For suppose solubility of NaCl in water at 298 kelvin, it's a constant value. Is it clear? So like this we can say for a substance solubility is constant at a given temperature in a given solvent. So like this we can say this is about solubility, and here based on the solubility the substances can be divided into three types. So based on solubility compounds can be or substances can be divided into how many types? Three types. What are those three types, sir? That is first one, soluble salts. What are soluble salts? Whose solubility is greater than 1 gram per 100 ml of solvent. If solubility is greater than 1 gram per 100 ml of solvent, it is said to be soluble salt. Second one, sparingly soluble salt. Sparingly soluble salts means whose solubility is less. So here solubility is what, sir? Solubility is less than 1 gram per 100 ml but greater than 0.001 gram per 100 ml. So if solubility of the salt is less than is in between 0.001 gram per 100 ml to 1 gram per 100 ml, then it is called as what, sir? Sparingly soluble salt. Next, third one, insoluble salt. Insoluble salts, if you take, if solubility is less than 0.001 gram per 100 ml, if solubility is less than 0.001 gram per 100 ml, then it is called as insoluble salt. It is called as what, sir? Insoluble salts. Like this we can say soluble salts. Example for soluble salts in water, NaCl. Sparingly soluble salt like AgCl. Insoluble salt, barium sulfate. So whose solubility is less than 0.001 gram per 100 ml. This is if solubility is in between, is greater than 0.001 gram per 100 ml and less than 1 gram, it is sparingly soluble salt. Like this we can say this is salts can be divided into three types based on their solubility. Clear? Next. The next one is solubility of solids in liquids. Solubility of solids in liquids. So already we discussed that solid in liquid solutions are important solutions. So we are going to discuss about solubility of solids in liquids. Solubilities of solids in liquids. So generally that solubility of solid in liquid depends on mainly three factors. It depends on what, sir? Solubility of solids in liquids. Solids in liquids. Liquid solvent depends on what, sir? Depends on three factors. Depends on three factors. What are those three factors means? The first one is nature of solute and solvent. Nature of solute and solvent. So how it depends on nature of solute and solvent? Let us see. Here solubility of solids in liquids depends on mainly three factors. First one, nature of solute and solvent. Second one is temperature. Third one is pressure. So how it depends on nature of solute and solvent? Generally solubility depends on solute and nature of solute and solvent. Generally we can say it depends on like dissolves like principle. So it depends on like dissolves like principle. Means what, sir? Like dissolves like principle means ionic compounds. If you take, that is ionic compounds are more soluble in polar solvents. Ionic compounds are more soluble in polar solvents. So the solubility of ionic compounds depends on what, sir? That is here before that ionic compounds are more soluble in polar solvents, whereas covalent compounds or non-polar compounds are more soluble in non-polar solvents. So polar compounds are more soluble in polar solvents and non-polar compounds are more soluble in non-polar solvent. Like this we can say. Here solubility of ionic compounds in water, if you take solubility of ionic compounds. So solubility of ionic compounds, mainly ionic compounds are more soluble in what, sir? They are more soluble in polar solvents. Ionic compounds are more soluble in polar solvents. Solubility of ionic compounds is directly proportional to hydration enthalpy or hydration energy. What is hydration energy? Whenever hydrated ions are formed, that is the released energy is hydration enthalpy. So solubility of ionic compounds in polar solvents, if we take, it is directly proportional to hydration enthalpy or solvation enthalpy. And solubility is inversely proportional to lattice enthalpy. Inversely proportional to lattice enthalpy means solubility of ionic compounds in water or solubility of ionic compounds in polar solvents depend on two factors, that is hydration enthalpy or solvation enthalpy and lattice enthalpy. Directly proportional to hydration enthalpy and inversely proportional to lattice enthalpy. Is it clear? So like this we can say, here the important thing is, here solubility of ionic compounds, if we take solubility of ionic compounds in different solvents, if we take, here solubility is directly proportional to dielectric constant of solvent. Means ionic compound is more soluble in a polar solvent whose dielectric constant is more. Dielectric constant is indicated by D. If dielectric constant is more, then the dissolving capacity of that solvent, the dissolving capacity of ionic compounds in that solvent is more. So solubility of ionic compounds in different solvents, if we take, solubility is directly proportional to dielectric constant of the solvent. For suppose dielectric constant, if we take dielectric constant order, if you take, water is greater than, water has a higher dielectric constant than methanol. Therefore, solubility of what, sir? Solubility of NaCl, if you take, NaCl in water is greater than in methanol. Why? Because ionic compounds are more soluble in a solvent whose dielectric constant is more. Is it clear? So this is about what, sir? Here dielectric constant. Similarly, if you take here dielectric constant of water is greater than heavy water. So that solubility of NaCl is in water is more than what, sir? Heavy water. Like this also you can say. So like this we can say, why? Because when dielectric constant of solvent is more, lattice enthalpy becomes less. When lattice enthalpy is less, then solubility will be more. Why? Because solubility is inversely proportional to lattice enthalpy. Lattice enthalpy is inversely proportional to dielectric constant of solvent. So that we can say, based on this one, we can write solubility is directly proportional to dielectric constant. So like this we can say. And next, solubility of molecular solids, if we take. Solubility of molecular solids or molecular solutes, if we take. So molecular solids, nothing but covalent solids. If they contain what, sir? If they contain polar groups, if they contain polar groups like OH, etc., then they are soluble, they are more soluble in polar solvents. That is water, ammonia, etc. So if the molecular solid containing what are polar groups like OH, etc., then they are more soluble in water like polar solvents. This is due to what, sir? Due to hydrogen bond or due to strong dipole-dipole forces. And next, if they do not contain such kind of polar groups, then they are more soluble in non-polar solvents. So if they do not contain such kind of polar group, they are less soluble in water. So they are less soluble in water means more soluble in non-polar solvents. Like this we can say solubility of a solid substance depend on nature of solute and solvent. Generally it depends on like dissolves like principle, means polar compounds or polar solids are more soluble in polar solvents, non-polar solids are more soluble in non-polar solvents. Means ionic compounds and molecular solids containing polar groups are more soluble in polar solvents like water, ammonia, etc. Non-polar compounds, nothing but molecular solids without any polar group, are more soluble in non-polar solvents. So like dissolves like principle. Clear? So this is about solubility, first factor, that is nature of solute and solvent, which will affect the solubility of solids in liquids. Next second factor. So next second factor is temperature. So solubility of solid in liquid, solubility of solids in liquid depends on temperature. So it may increase with the increase in temperature, and may decrease with the increase in temperature. Means solubility is directly proportional to temperature, or solubility may be inversely proportional to temperature. This depends on whether it is directly proportional to temperature or inversely proportional to temperature. This depends on enthalpy of solution. It depends on what, sir? Enthalpy of solution. So the solubility, the effect of temperature on the solubility of solids in liquid depends on enthalpy of solution. What is mean by enthalpy of solution, sir? When solid solute or when solute is added to solvent to form solution, to form what, sir? Solution, then there will be some energy change, enthalpy change. The enthalpy change is called as enthalpy of solution. This enthalpy of solution may be positive or negative. Positive or negative, as we discussed in first year thermodynamics. If delta H of solution is with enthalpy of solution is positive, then the solution is called as endothermic solution. Endothermic solution. If enthalpy of solution is with negative sign, that is called as exothermic solution. Exothermic solution. Like this, here depending on this enthalpy of solution, temperature effect will be. For suppose, if delta H of solution, that is enthalpy of solution, what is the delta H of solution, sir? This delta H of solution is enthalpy of solution. Enthalpy of solution. So if enthalpy of solution is with positive sign, means for endothermic solutions, if delta H of solution is positive, then solubility is directly proportional to temperature. Solubility is directly proportional to temperature. Means when a solid solute dissolved in liquid to form its solution, during this process if heat is absorbed, then solubility of that salt in that liquid increases with the increase in temperature. Clear? Next, if delta H of solution is with negative sign, means exothermic solutions, then solubility of solid in liquid, solubility of salt is inversely proportional to temperature. Solubility is inversely proportional to temperature, like this we can say. Is it clear? So if delta H of solution is positive, then the solubility of that solid, that solute in the given solvent increases with the increase in temperature. Clear? So like this we can say, if delta H of solution is with a negative sign, then means exothermic solutions, solubility is inversely proportional to temperature. So I am taking example graphically. If you observe, solubility I am taking on y-axis and temperature I am taking on x-axis. If we take that is KCl solubility of KCl or ammonium chloride increases with the increase in temperature. It is a straight line like this for ammonium chloride. If we take for NaCl, it slightly changes the solubility of NaCl in water. Solubility in what, sir? Solubility of various salts in water I am taking. So solubility of NaCl in water increases slightly with the increase in temperature. Clear? Next, if you take KCl solubility of KCl in water also increases with the increasing temperature. KNO3 solubility of KNO3 increases with the increase in temperature. Clear? These are the solubilities in water. Solubility in water. Liquid is what, sir? Water I am taking. Now, if you take lithium sulfate solubility decreases with the increase in temperature. So this is lithium sulfate, Li2SO4. And even cerium sulfate also, if you take Ce2SO4 taken thrice. Cerium sulfate, cerium belongs to F block. For cerium sulfate, what happens, sir? As the temperature increases, its solubility decreases. Means from these, we can say, for these solutes or solids, the enthalpy of solution is what, sir? Enthalpy of solution is positive. Means while dissolving these compounds in water, heat is absorbed. So that as the temperature increases, what happens, sir? Enthalpy, that is solubility, increases. That can be explained on the basis of Le-Chatelier principle also. Le-Chatelier principle also. And in case of these two, here delta H of solution is with what sign, sir? Negative sign. As delta H of solution is a negative sign, exothermic process, formation of solution is exothermic process, so that rate of formation of solution decreases with the increasing temperature. Why? Because exothermic reactions are favored at low temperature, endothermic reactions are favored at high temperature. Clear? So like this we can say as for Le-Chatelier principle. So if the delta H of solution is positive, then solubility increases with the increase in temperature. When delta H of solution is negative, it decreases with the increasing temperature. Clear? So like this we can say. This can be also explained by using Le-Chatelier principle. Why? Because in the saturated solution of these salts in water, a dynamic equilibrium exists. For suppose KCl solid, when added to water, then what will get, sir? Will get KCl aqueous solution. Here delta H is with what sign, sir? Positive sign. Now as for it is at equilibrium. As for Le-Chatelier's principle, so when temperature increases, endothermic reaction is favored. Here endothermic reaction is forward reaction, means formation of solution is favored. Formation of solution is favored means more amount of KCl dissolves in that one to form solution. So solubility of KCl in water increases with the increasing temperature. Clear? Next, if you take that is here another one is ceric sulfate, Ce2SO4 taken thrice. When dissolved in water, then we'll get what, sir? Ce2SO4 taken thrice aqueous. Here delta H is with what sign? Negative sign. So now as the temperature increases, this is also at equilibrium. As the temperature increases, what happens, sir? This is exothermic reaction. When temperature increases, endothermic reaction is favored, means backward reaction is favored. Backward reaction is favored means solution containing to solute, solution converting to solute. So means the solubility of solute in that solution decreases. Right or not? So in this way we can say here, what, sir? Solubility decreases with the increase in temperature, hence solubility is inversely proportional to temperature. Why? Because increase in temperature favors backward reaction, decrease in temperature favors forward reaction. When temperature increases, backward reaction is favored, means forward reaction is disfavored. Forward reaction is disfavored means solubility decreases with the increase in temperature. So this is regarding what, sir? Here this is solubility, effect of temperature on solubility of solids in liquids. Next here in temperature effect, one more concept. The variation of solubility of solid in liquid, the variation of solubility of solid substance in liquid with the temperature sometimes show deviation. So the deviation in the variation of solubility with the change in temperature. With the change in temperature, why it should deviate, sir? Why the increase in solubility or decrease in solubility is showing deviation? Means that is a change in temperature. With the change in temperature, why it showing deviation means this is due to change in physical form. Change in physical form, or due to the transition of one physical form to another physical form. So change in physical form or change in what's our phase, you can say. So change in physical form. For suppose example I am taking, that is here I am taking solubility and here temperature I am taking, that is variation of solubility of sodium sulfate decahydrate with the temperature. So the sodium sulfate decahydrate here it increases up to certain value. This is for what, sir? Na2SO4 10H2O. It increases up to certain value, then after reaching certain maximum solubility, with the increase in temperature it reaches a maximum value, then again decreases. Why? Because one reaches this temperature. At this temperature, let us consider this is some 36.2 degrees Celsius. So at 36.2 degrees Celsius, what happens means Na2SO4 10H2O, that is sodium sulfate decahydrate, converts into anhydrous sodium sulfate. Anhydrous sodium sulfate. So this is anhydrous sodium sulfate. Whenever it is present as a decahydrate, its solubility is directly proportional to temperature. Whenever it becomes anhydrous salt, its solubility is inversely proportional to temperature. That means the deviation in the graph of variation of solubility with variation in temperature is due to the change in physical form. So at a transition temperature at which it's showing change in physical form, where it is converting from hydrated salt to anhydrous salt. So due to this change in physical form, its solubility will also change. Similarly, if you take for CaCl2 6H2O, if you take CaCl2 6H2O on heating converts into what, sir? CaCl2 4H2O. This on further heating converts into what, sir? CaCl2 2H2O. So these three will show different kinds of solubilities. That's why the solubility graph of this one, variation or solubility of CaCl2 6H2O with the change in temperature, if you take, it increases with the increase in what's our temperature, and after that again decreases, then again decreases, like this it will show. Means that there is a deviation in the graph. Why it's showing deviation in the graph? Because of change in physical form. Here it is what, sir? Up to here, this is CaCl2 6H2O. Then at this point what, sir? CaCl2 4H2O. At this point CaCl2 2H2O. And finally it becomes anhydrous calcium chloride. Like this. Due to the change in physical form, the solubility will change. Is it clear? So this is about effect of temperature. Are you following or not? Next, here I would like to give one question based on this one. For a solid substance A, its solubility in water at 298 Kelvin is 1 gram for 100 ml. And at 318 Kelvin is 0.8 grams for 100 ml. 0.8 grams for 100 ml. Then delta H solution for the formation of A in water. Delta H of solution for the formation of solution A in water. So what is that one, sir? First one positive, second one negative, third one none, Fourth one both. Third one both, fourth one none. So what is the right answer, sir? Here with the increase in temperature, solubility decreases. So solubility is inversely proportional to temperature, means delta H of solution must be what, sir? Negative. So that second option is right answer. Is it clear? And the solid substance for which the delta H of solution is with negative sign, here in that cases solubility is inversely proportional to temperature. When temperature increases, solubility decreases, means delta H of solution is negative. Clear? Next. The third factor that can affect the solubility of solids in liquids is pressure. Here, solids are almost incompressible. Solids are non-compressible, incompressible. So that's why the effect of pressure on the solubility of solids in liquid solvent in liquid is almost negligible. Almost negligible means there is the effect of pressure on the solubility of solid in liquid is insignificant, negligible, means no effect of pressure. Simply what we can say, sir? No effect of pressure, no significant effect of pressure on solubility of solids in liquids. Why? Because both the solids and liquids are incompressible or they cannot be compressed. So that's why effect of pressure is almost negligible. Clear? So with this, solubility of solids in liquids and factors affecting solubility of solids in liquids completed. The rest of the part we'll discuss in next class.